There's also about billions of dollars spent in research yearly, and there's still no cure for asthma. I was 16 when I was diagnosed. Throughout my childhood, I lived a fairly active life. I did sports, swimming, dancing, and one day, without any warning, I suffered an attack that actually left me unconscious. Since I was diagnosed, I've been hospitalized 3 times, and that's not counting the visit to the emergency rooms. Having to be pretty much trapped in this, having to always have to bring your medicine with you, never know what can cause an attack. You do learn what things may trigger your own person, because my condition might be different from someone else who suffers from the same. It's hard, and sometimes it's frustrating. This disease really gives no warning. There's no way to know whether you were born with it. You get it when you're 5, when you're 30 years old, and it can easily just go away. It often comes with other issues, with other lung problems, and also heart problems due to the medication that you're constantly inhaling. The Encyclopedia Britannica describes asthma as a chronic lung disease that could be triggered by many different factors, such as pets, pollen, other allergies, weather changes, emotional changes can trigger them, and again, it's different for every person, and you kind of learned, including some foods that you eat might cause an attack. The most, here's a picture. I don't know if you guys can see the difference between the airways, how they're open up when you don't have asthma, and how they are so thin when you have the condition. Trying to breathe through this, it actually feels like, imagine being underwater, being forced underwater, and trying to breathe through a really thin straw. It's very hard, and actually that emotional challenge and connection makes it worse, and sometimes the medication doesn't work. Here are some of the things. Actually, exercise can cause asthma as well. It pretty much the side effects, as you can call it, from it causes wheezing, shallow breathing, chest pain and tightness, and extreme coughing. Sometimes you could even be awakened by it in the middle of the night, and or someone will wake you up if they can hear you breathing and wheezing. It sounds like plastic rubbing together. You might not even notice if you still may be receiving about 70% of oxygen or so. The most common medications used to control asthma are either long-term medications or quick relief. Quick relief is usually used when you're having an attack, and it shouldn't be used if it's under control more than maybe once a week. And long-term medication, what it does is it helps you in the long run, prevent you from getting these attacks. And again, I've had it for so many years, and it's still unpredictable. I mean, I take my medication every day. It's being switched so many times due to problems, the heart palpitations and different things. And it's still, you can't fully control it. Hopefully it just disappears as it came. The most symptoms that come with it are also, it could cause loss of consciousness. And when that happens, again, that's when it treats, when you have to go to the ER and get immediate help and oxygen in most cases. Research done by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America shows that if you learn your triggers and avoiding them and taking your medication on time, could help you live a fairly normal life, do sports, be active, and not be so much controlled by this disease. In conclusion, it is a chronic condition. There is really no Luckily, I have insurance and I'm able to pay for medication, but this is why people still die every year, because it could affect inner cities or poor cities that don't have a proper health care system, and the medication alone, without insurance, could run you about $1,000 a month. So it's something very expensive to keep up with. Even with insurance, it's probably about $200-300 a month in between pills and inhalers, and you have to have oxygen in home just in case. I guess there is different kinds of asthma. Some people don't have it as much and it's more seasonal, and some have it severe, which is all year round. Even though, like I mentioned, it could disappear at any time, there is still much research that needs to be done, and to be able to fully understand how to prevent it, how to treat it, and how to cure it. Asthma should not be allowed to put major limits in your life. Thank you. Any questions?
How old were you when you first started doing that?
16. Yeah, it was just I was getting tired, but then I just out of nowhere I had an attack, and I was at school. I actually lost consciousness because we didn't know what it was.
Were you by any chance exposed to long-term cigarette smoking growing up? And if you're comfortable discussing that.
It's okay. I never learned how to. I never smoked, but my mother did. So it could be that. They also say that you're most likely to have it if somebody from your family has it,
Right.
which my dad had it when he was young for about 4 years, and then it went away. So I'm really hoping it goes away.
So it's like hereditary and environmental
They
sometimes.
say,
Mhm. Okay.
We talked about medicine, how you have the fast-acting one, you can only take it up to once a week. Why is it that
it puts a lot of strain in your heart. This is why you have to do yearly exams. For example, when I did mine, and they made you run in this treadmill, and you get the asthma attack. When you use the pumps, I guess your heart is probably about 70 beats a minute or something like that, a second or something. This jumps it up to over 200 automatically. So it really puts a strain in it, and it could eventually damage it. And usually, according to my doctor, if you have it for too long, you will most likely die eventually out of heart problems, because the medication is just too hard on it. And it's worse for older people.
Not bad.
All right.